And welcome back, Pigskin Politics. What is this now? Week 11 we're going on? Okay, first and foremost, last week was awful. I don't know if anyone got through last week unscathed.
There was a lot of upsets, man. There was a lot of upsets. I didn't expect
a lot of good upsets.
There were some good upsets. There were some good games.
There were some good ones.
Yeah.
But, I mean, that's just kind of the nature of the business. I mean, we had one bad week earlier this year, bound for another one, but hopefully we can kind of right the ship here. We're still batting better than most experts, so hopefully we can right the ship.
Anyway, what was our topic going on? We decided to come up with a topic for this video before we started about the predictions. Who's the best journeyman quarterback going into the next year? And by that I mean it's probably going to be Joe Flacco, Cam Newton, Ryan Fitzpatrick, and probably Marcus Mariota.
Case Keenum, I'd say, too.
Maybe.
Like, anyone who is a quarterback for one team moves to another. You're a journeyman by that point.
Of those five, who's the best quarterback?
That's an interesting one because...
Ooh, Jameis Winston might be one.
Ooh, yeah. But who wants him? Let's talk about the more interesting one, the more versatile one, Ryan Fitzpatrick. You know, for as old as he is, he's still actually quite the playmaker. Mm-hmm. And he is proficient enough that they don't want him starting on a lot of teams, but he still has... started for 8 different teams in the NFL. That is just absurd. And he's actually not doing terrible right now. I wouldn't say he's the best, though. I'd just say he's the most average. Like, he's pretty good, but he's not really good.
I'd say he's one of the best just because he could still keep getting jobs. Teams still pick him up. Mm-hmm. So he still has something to play for.
Well, he's smart. He can pick up a playbook quick.
Yeah.
I'd say remove Case Keenum from that. I think Case Keenum, lightning in a bottle that one year, and now everyone's been paying him trying to get back to the NFC Championship. We don't know how the Vikings did it. Case Keenum is not good. I'm just going to say it outright.
The Vikings just had a good roster.
Yeah, I'm going to say it outright. No.
Joe Flacco, I mean, he won a Super Bowl, but I mean, he's not doing great in Denver. I mean, he got hurt, so I mean, maybe we'll see where he goes next year. I don't even know if he's going to be a starter at this point next year, if he's even in the NFL.
What's a team that could use a player like Joe Flacco?
The Bears?
Bears could use about any quarterback.
Bears could use a quarterback? Let's see, where'd Cam Newton go? Cam Newton is... I heard he's flirting with playing for the Bears. They could honestly use him given how, Trubisky looked semi-competent the other year. And now everyone's figured him out. At least Cam Newton can pass sometimes sort of accurately. Yeah. Oh, God, no, he couldn't, could he? Because that's why he's benched right now. He hurt his shoulder and his foot, but maybe that's all he needed was just a year off of football. Maybe he could somewhat be better next year. I don't know.
No, I doubt it.
I'd still say Fitzpatrick's the best journeyman.
Really?
I would say.
Shucks. I'd actually say Joe Flacco, just because...
Dude, he was bad for the Broncos, though, man.
I mean, I know. The Broncos are just bad.
They are.
So I'll give Flacco the benefit of the doubt. I mean...
Is it because he's won a Super Bowl?
Kind of. I mean, he was an MVP too, but so is Cam. But it's more or less that I feel... with Baltimore, he at least had someone play to his strengths. They got a new OC, and he loved dump-offs, and he loved passing, and it just never worked out for him. And now he's moved to a different situation that is similarly broken. So...
Yeah.
Now that the Ravens got rid of him, they fixed their OC problems. Whoops. Sorry, Joe. But
what about Mariota? Would you put him dead last or Case Keenum dead last?
Case Keenum, probably. Do you think Trubisky's even going to go to another roster? Or Rosen? God, I feel sorry for him.
Rosen's going to probably have a team draft a quarterback with their first pick 2 years in a row.
Oh, God.
I feel so bad for Rosen, man.
Well, he's getting outplayed by apparently the best journeyman quarterback. So,
well, he's also done it for like 11 years, man.
More than that.
God, he's pretty old.
Fitzpatrick's played for Harvard, man. He's just smart. I think he's just really versatile. He's like a great pickup. Whatever.
Anyway, let's roll into the week. First game of the week, we got Thursday Night Football, Pittsburgh at Cleveland. So, who do you think's going to win?
I'm going with Pittsburgh. I desperately want Cleveland to win. Cleveland had a good win over a good opponent. You know, they did what they needed to despite goal line incompetence, almost record-setting. But the Steelers didn't deserve to win on the Rams, and I am just getting tired of it. I'm truly getting tired of... The refs are trying to put the Steelers in the playoffs.
Oh, dude, totally.
And, I get it. There's a fan base there. I really hate it because, okay, cool, you can put them in the playoffs. They're not good. They're not going to do anything. You can get them there, but what are they going to do?
They're not good.
You can win games in the NFL, but why?
Their defense is good, though. I respect their defense, but I don't buy their offense at all. I don't think Mason Rudolph's a good quarterback.
He's not.
He just does dump-offs, and their offense isn't explosive. I'm picking Cleveland in this one, man.
I want to. I really want to. But the last 3 weeks, I didn't want to pick the Rams over the Steelers, but I just kind of hoped the Steelers would outweigh, the Steelers because they are better than the Steelers. And I figured, I'll pick against the Steelers because can the refs bail them out every week? And we picked
in Pittsburgh, they do. They get turnovers that aren't actually turnovers, like that Jared Goff fumble. Yeah. That wasn't a fumble, man. That was just an incomplete pass. I've seen it in other weeks where they get turnovers that aren't turnovers because of the refs.
That's the same reason I picked the Steelers over the Colts a couple weeks ago. It's not that the Steelers are better. Hell, they had freaking 2 free turnovers against Miami they didn't deserve. The refs are trying to correct the schedule. And it's making me mad. So then you look at the upcoming Pittsburgh schedule, and it's really easy.
Who's more desperate here? Is it Cleveland or is it Pittsburgh? That comes to that. Who's just more desperate for a win?
Cleveland's more desperate, man, but dude,
they weren't desperate enough to beat the Broncos. I swear, I put 15 points on them to beat the Broncos, and they couldn't do it.
I'm picking the Steelers. I want the Browns to win. I think they would, but holy shit.
You're going with Pittsburgh, man. I'm going with Cleveland on this. It's in Cleveland. It's a short week. Pittsburgh's traveling. I think they just got lucky on some ref crap. I think Cleveland
They've gotten lucky 4 weeks in a row on ref crap, though.
Well,
once is an outlier.
This isn't Cleveland.
Twice is a trend, and dude, it's a trend.
Buffalo at Miami.
Yeah, so Miami pulled a pretty great upset, huh? That was cool. And sorry, Indy, but you kind of had it coming. But Buffalo got upset by the Browns in a game they easily could have won. But you know what I found really funny is the Bills, undoubtedly, they are good. They really are. That defense is phenomenal. But if you can score more than 21 points, you can beat the Bills. And Dolphins have been trending up. So I was kind of looking at this. I kind of think the Dolphins go on a longer win streak here. I'm all for tanking at this point. We got 2 wins. That's more than I expected. However, they're going out of their way to say that they're not going to tank and they're going to try and win for the players they have now too. And I respect that.
So you can respect that, yeah.
Who goes to a team because they're going to lose? And they're playing, smarter, stronger football every week. Beating the Jets, that's nothing. But you win on the road and beat a good Colts team. Regardless of if they had their backup starting quarterback out, that's still a well-coached team, and they own the game top to bottom.
Yeah.
And I kind of think the Dolphins are trending up, where the Bills might be trending a little bit down. I think the Bills just lost 2 in a row now.
Okay, but the Bills' defense, dude, it's still phenomenal. They work, man. They stuffed Cleveland 8 times in a row on the goal line from the 1-yard line.
True.
What other defense could say they could do that, man?
What other offense is going to be that incompetent?
Cleveland.
Yeah, exactly. And I'd like to clarify, not 2 in a row, but losing the last 2 of 3. That okay. I feel is accurate.
But I don't trust Buffalo's offense, though. And Miami isn't a good team at all.
Their defense
This is going to be a weird game.
That's the thing. The Miami defense is doing well with a bunch of no-names. And they are doing... they're not committing a lot of penalties. And that's their biggest thing. That's screwed them for years. I don't want them to win, per se. Of course, I'll love to win. But, I understand tanking for, high draft picks.
Yeah.
But I kind of feel that in the same way there was upset potential last week with the, Colts and Dolphins and Bills and Browns, it's kind of similar to this one. I found myself picking the Dolphins. I don't expect anyone else to, but you know what? I believe,
That's a hard one to pick.
It really is.
It really is a hard one to pick. I'm looking at it and I'm going, that defense with no offense and basically the same thing in Miami. You guys got a better defense with, Ryan Fitzpatrick's offense.
Dolphins did almost beat the Bills in Buffalo a couple weeks ago. That's the bigger thing. It's the biggest thing, I thought.
I'm going with Buffalo just because Miami's been so bad.
Completely understand. I get it. I'm homering this one. So
they just lost. They got to be desperate. They need this win.
I know
if they want to be a high seed in the playoffs. They want to win the division.
I know they do.
Maybe they can win it. I doubt it, but I think Buffalo gets the win here.
I understand that completely. I do.
Dallas at Detroit.
Well, I'm sorry, Detroit. Your season's basically over. You
sad.
could have beat the Bears. The Bears didn't really put up a great performance, but you got waylaid by the most important thing. Your starting quarterback, Matt Stafford's out.
Yeah,
and
broken vertebrae, I think.
That's it. They're done. They're done.
They've lost too many games.
Jeff Driscoll's made some good plays, but those games we complained about with the refs, that's coming back to bite them now. And at this point, you're 3-5-1, and the wild cards in the NFC are 8-2 and 7-3.
They're not catching up.
You can't. There's just nothing you can do. You're not going to play those teams. I mean,
Dallas has everything to lose. I think Dallas plays them tough, and Dallas wins.
I mean, Dallas came close on the Vikings, who proved they are a good team. And don't get me wrong, I think Detroit's a good team. It's just, without your starting quarterback, I think it's it. It's over.
Dallas is kind of a worse Minnesota team. Like, they're exactly the same team.
Yeah,
they can't
actually,
be good teams, but Dallas is pretty much the same team.
That parallel actually holds a bit when you look at Dalvin Cook and Ezekiel Elliott. They're literally carrying those offenses on their back.
Yeah.
But
anyway, I think Dallas just wins this.
I'm sorry, Detroit. It's over. You lost the Bears, and you could have beat them had your starting quarterback.
I mean, it'd be hilarious if they beat the Cowboys.
It helped the Eagles, but that's about it. And
aren't the Eagles also 5-4? Right?
They are, yeah.
So the division leader
is 5.
Might be like 9-7 this year.
Yeah. But yeah, it's Dallas's game to lose, and I doubt they Jets this game. I think that was
their game plan. I'm going with Dallas on this one just because I think they're the better team.
It's sad, but yeah, go with Dallas.
Even though at the beginning of the year I didn't expect Detroit to kind of be good, but Detroit got screwed on some of those refs games.
They really did.
They were way better than.
They're the best team that won't make it. That's what it is. It's sad.
It's really what it is. Anyway, moving on. Go with Dallas. Mm-hmm. Jacksonville at Indianapolis. Man, the AFC South's always got some weird rivalries going on that just always go one way.
Mm-hmm.
Always one way. But doesn't Jacksonville normally play the Colts really good?
They are the team that typically beats the Colts. It's a weird one.
And I don't know if Jacoby Brissett's back.
I don't either. But they say if he practices tomorrow, he's likely to be back. But I think T.Y. Hilton is still out.
Yeah, out indefinitely.
I believe so. I tried to look into that. I totally forgot.
I don't like Jacksonville in this one, man.
You want to know what the biggest thing here is? Nick Foles is back. Nick Foles is back.
Yeah, but it's going to be like just awesome good coming off of
course. Have you seen his passer rating for the season? He's 108.6.
He played like half a game.
Who cares? I mean, you can't argue with stats, man. Nick Foles, easy. Nick Foles.
That's not even a good sample size.
Okay. Real talk, though. The Jags do play the Colts very well. It's always that thing. Like, even when the Jags go 3-13, one of their wins is the Colts. It just happens.
Yep.
The Colts fell flat on their face. I think they could be desperate, but I actually think it's more of a bigger problem of they're starting to just bottom fall out. I think that they might have looked better than they were at the start of the year, and now it's starting to catch up to them. I don't think they can survive Hilton and Brissett being out. I think losing to the Dolphins in Indy, that was huge.
Oh, dude, that's got to hurt their confidence so bad, man.
And the Dolphins won by a strong defensive performance. If anything the Jags can do, it's that they got a defense. And when Nick Foles was in, the Jags offense looked fine.
Do you think Indy slept on them, or was it just incompetence that lost him the game?
A little bit of both. I
don't think the Colts should have lost to the Dolphins, but they...
You watched that game, too.
They got outplayed. They just got outplayed.
It really was. So, yeah, I'm actually picking arguably the upset here, but I'm going with the Jags. And it'll make the AFC South even more interesting,
I'm also going with the Jaguars.
That's going to
law of averages, man. It's going to happen.
Averages, 4-5 to 5-4. I like it.
All right, moving on. We're both in agreement with Jacksonville there. Denver at Minnesota.
Okay, so are you going to say anything crazy in this part, or can we just roll with Minnesota?
Just roll with Minnesota.
Dude,
I mean, I don't even think we have to really talk about this one. I think Minnesota's on a roll. They beat bad teams. Denver's a bad team.
Yep. I mean, heck, what was the games Minnesota even lost? You got Green Bay, Chicago, and the Chiefs. Two good teams, and I guess the Bears just got their number or something. They're riding a good spree right now, and they're winning on the road against Dallas. Those are strong wins, and granted, they fell against the Chiefs, but the Chiefs are a good team, especially at home. And heck, Minnesota just has more tools here to control the clock and win the game.
Oh, absolutely. Unless Minnesota's just sleeping hard like they did last year against Buffalo. But I doubt that.
Is Joe Flacco back in?
No, dude.
Oh, God. Okay, then do we even need to talk about this more?
No, we don't need it. Vikings by a mile.
Yeah.
Okay, fine.
Yes.
New Orleans at Tampa Bay.
So, how about that upset last week with New Orleans?
Screw it. I don't take it to heart. Atlanta's not good. I thought they were going to be, but Matt Ryan's been... I don't know what the hell to say about Atlanta right now. They're a mess, but don't take it to heart. I think New Orleans is still very good. They'll probably be in the Super Bowl, if not the NFC Championship game again. Good defense, good offense. They got Drew Brees. I don't care that they lost to Atlanta. Screw it, whatever. It is what it is. Tampa Bay is... Yeah, they do play their division games pretty tough, though.
They do.
But I think New Orleans is going to be like, dude, we just lost to a 1-7 team. We should not lose to Jameis Winston, who is a turnover machine.
You know what's funny is when we were trying to make that Atlanta hype video at the start of the year, one of the things we said was Atlanta knows how to play their division well, and that held true.
They do.
I don't think Atlanta's even played a division game yet until that point.
They're probably going to finish like 7-9. Just run the
division, right?
Yep.
But I can't doubt New Orleans was just sleeping on them. And I mean, hell, can you even look at the numbers and predict what happened? Atlanta had 6 sacks. Atlanta had 6 sacks. They had 7 all year. How could you plan for that? I mean, New Orleans got caught sleeping. Atlanta might be good-ish when it's against a divisional game. Does that mean that Tampa Bay is going to win this game? Tampa Bay barely survived the Cards. Cards are fine, but come on. No, Saints are still too good. I mean, crap.
Oh, dude, totally.
Saints will beat the Bucks. If the Bucks somehow won, and again, I see really no way they would, but if they somehow did, then maybe it's time to hit the panic button on the Saints. But I will allow them one mulligan throughout the year, like straight up.
If they lose to the Bucks, that'd be really weird. I mean, they did lose like 48-49. Was that last year in week 1?
48-40. Yeah. Ryan Fitzpatrick, but
it's not
Jameis Winston, yeah. And the Saints defense is good. Jameis Winston
likes
like his turnovers. So
5 picks, but he'll still have like 500 yards, 5 touchdowns somehow.
Saints defense is still good. So
all right, moving on. I think we're both in agreement with the Saints there. This year's toilet bowl, basically.
Again?
Oh yeah, the Jets with the Skins.
Okay, Adam Gase. So finally, you put up more than 30 points. That's now the second time all year they've scored more than 20 points. And again, their defense put up points. Adam Gase.
And Washington's got a really good pass rush.
I honestly, that's where the
coming off a bye.
That's where the math comes down to on this. Washington is great at blitzing and getting pressure on the quarterback. Sam Darnold likes to see ghosts. Yeah. Sam Darnold isn't very good. I think it's about time to already invest in that. Or if he could be, Adam Gase is not the QB whisperer he's been lauded as. And I think Adam Gase got his feelings hurt by a flyer going over New York saying to fire Adam Gase. I think it was well-deserved, and he won a garbage game against another team across town. Hooray. I don't want to read into it too much. The Jets aren't good, and I think Adam Gase did what he always did, and he tried like hell to pull a win that honestly isn't going to fix the problems. He's going to be like, oh, see, we won. And it's like, dude, it's too late.
Washington also isn't very good. Their offense is pretty bad.
They're starting Haskins. They are.
That's pretty bad.
Not really. Washington's been running really heavy on the run game, and I kind of just want them to. I want them to let Haskins open up and throw the ball. Like,
I mean, if he's your
that's
starting
why they
quarterback,
picked him.
just let him finish the year and see how he does.
But, I mean, at the very least, maybe there's a weird thing going on. All one-win teams won last week, except for the Skins. They're on a bye. I think the Skins even the stat line here.
Oh, does that mean the Bengals will win?
No. They have no wins.
All the one-win teams won.
But law of averages. Jets have 2 wins. Skins have 1. Bam. Law of averages. Go on your team. I actually think the Skins just win here. That's disrespect on the Jets, but yeah, I'm going to disrespect the Jets again here.
I'm going with Washington because they got a good pass rush and they're coming off a bye. They get extra time to prepare. They got rested, and the Jets aren't good.
Fair enough.
Screw the Jets. Anyway, Atlanta at Carolina.
Heartbreaker of a loss to a really good team. That's what the Carolina Panthers did. Atlanta.
They could have beaten Green Bay. I mean, had they just scored on their last drive, tied the game, they could have went to overtime, but they didn't. And I don't buy into Atlanta after beating New Orleans. That was just a weird divisional game that we just talked about. Carolina wins. Absolutely. I think they just lost 2 in a row?
Has it been 2 in a row?
Didn't they lose to the Niners and then they lost to Green Bay?
No, they beat the Titans the week before.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, Carolina should win this game. Absolutely.
Yeah, it's funny you say that, but we just talked about how Atlanta is really good at divisional games. And you know what? There were a lot of upsets last week. I love picking me some upsets, and I did not go crazy. To hell with it. I'll pick another upset. I'll say Atlanta beats Carolina here.
Nice.
There's really no reason, but I will say, just look at it from, if they were both winless, it'd be Matt Ryan versus Kyle Allen.
No, I think if Carolina really wants to make the playoffs, they should look at the film and be like, okay, they just beat the Saints. These guys can play a good team. They could beat a good team. We're not going to lose to these guys.
Well, they might just wipe it under the rug, Rick, like we just did, where it's like, yeah, but maybe the Saints were sleeping on them, and then they'll just, not learn from it and get caught
Christian
sleeping.
McCaffrey, man.
Yeah, no, that's true. Christian McCaffrey is pretty freaking amazing. I'll stick to my guns, but now I feel a little bit more uneasy about it. I'll just say Atlanta wins another game just to be interesting,
Just run the division.
Yeah, that'd be funny as hell.
Can you imagine if they finished 7-9?
Yeah, I can.
Jesus.
They're really good at it. I'll say Atlanta, you got Carolina.
I'm going Carolina, man.
But I'm fully aware that's just an asshole pick, or a just regular jerk pick. You gotta learn to edit these.
Just say assholes.
Yeah, no one watches.
Whatever. No one watches anyway. Anyway, Houston at Baltimore.
All right, well, usually you start talking about the Baltimore one, so go ahead.
Well, Houston's coming off a bye, and Houston's playing pretty damn good. DeAndre Hopkins and Deshaun Watson are damn good. That kind of scares me. Because DeAndre Hopkins you can't stop the guy, man. He's going to get his catches. It doesn't matter who you put on him. He's going to have a few amazing catches. He's just too good. Deshaun Watson is basically a more accurate freaking Lamar Jackson.
He really
maybe
is.
not a good
He just
runner,
runs
but
less,
yeah. Baltimore's coming off a pretty big win against the Bengals. I mean, if you want to call it a big win, but I mean, they did win
by a lot of points.
They throttled them.
Yeah.
I'm going to be a homer and just say the Ravens win by 1. Just because they've won 5 in a row, they got some confidence going. But I am very aware Houston can easily win this game. Not easily, but it's a coin flip for me. It's 50-50. I respect Houston. I think they can win this game. I just think the home team wins here.
I'm floored with how well Baltimore's playing top to bottom. Like, I wouldn't say their defense is overperforming, but they're putting up the turnovers and scores when they need to.
Oh, yeah, dude.
And Lamar Jackson is really great at keeping the chains moving, which tires out defenses. I'll actually pick Houston here, but hear me out on why. I think there's 4 teams to beat right now in the AFC, and you got Houston, Baltimore, New England, and KC.
Those are your division winners.
That's it. The Super Bowl's going to go through one of those 4 teams. Yep. And Houston has beaten KC in KC. Baltimore's beaten New England. And I think this is where we see which one of these is top dog. And I kind of think Houston and Baltimore could see each other in the championship.
Oh, dude, totally.
I got to give it to Houston here because KC beat Baltimore, but KC's big, superpower. I mean, New England's is defense. KC's is big plays. Houston's is consistent, good offense, and that was able to beat big plays, and big plays beat Baltimore. It's a cool round robin we got going right now.
Yeah, but I mean, Baltimore's also got big play ability.
I know, but I'll just go with consistency here, and I'm going with Houston just because that offense, I think Texans are better than their record, and it's weird saying that about a 3-loss team. Like,
that's not even bad. Dude, if you look at the stats for these teams, they're almost identical. Same defensive stats, same offensive stats. It's going to be a freaking good game.
Again, could go either way, but
awesome game, man.
I'll just pick Houston. I mean, honestly.
All right, moving on. Arizona at San Francisco got handed their first loss.
Hey, no shame in it.
I mean, you're 8-1. Whoop-de-doo.
There's shame in trying to complain your way to a victory, though. Let's be honest, refs were pulling for San Fran, like, most of the game.
You watch that. There was some
that third and short in overtime, that was a bad call that benefited Seattle. But
the first drive was bad calls.
That at holding on that INT, that PI on that third and short, San Fran got handed everything that game, and if
absolutely.
Metcalf didn't fumble on the one, it could have been worse. Don't get me wrong, San Fran showed a lot of versatility and survivability despite their injuries to stay in that game. San Fran didn't deserve to be in it, if you ask me. I think the better team won, and it's crazy that it came as close as it did. I think you can look to the refs as to why it did, and I don't like to harp on the refs, but just call frickin' fair games. That's all I care about.
How big of a fight do you think Arizona could put up, though? Because I think Arizona's interesting. Arizona's been playing pretty damn good.
They played pretty well against San Fran when they first played, but then they kind of fell apart. But Seattle showed how you beat San Fran. First team all year to do it. They put multiple scores on San Fran. Did you see Jimmy Garoppolo in overtime and playing from behind? They tried to rely on him to throw his way to a win. He can't do it.
That guy looked like he could have thrown like 7 interceptions that game. I'm not even making this up. His balls were coming out wobbly ducks, and they were hitting Seattle Seahawks guys in the hands, and they just weren't catching it. A couple of them were notified by penalties. He could have thrown 7, 8 interceptions. I'm not saying this just to be a dick.
No, I know. I completely agree with you. I think Seattle built the mold to beat San Fran. It's
go up multiple scores, make Garoppolo throw.
Can Arizona go up multiple scores?
I don't know. I don't think Arizona's
probably not
that good. But they're improved.
San Fran, well, yeah. And San Fran, at most, they've been trailing by 1 touchdown all year, so they don't have to abandon their scheme. Arizona has to fit this mold to beat them, and I just don't think they will. And I think it's about time Arizona starts punting the season too. You're, 3-6-1?
I don't think they're punting the season. I think
I say it's time they should.
No, I think they should try to freaking win as much as they can, man. Why not?
I do too. It's just
new
against
quarterback,
this opponent.
new coach. Get excited for next year.
There's a way to beat San Fran, but can Arizona do that? It's going to be hard for them to take a multiple score lead, especially with a rookie quarterback. I like Arizona. I think they'll put up a fight, but
Larry Fitzgerald, man.
I know.
It's a pretty damn good defense San Fran has.
I'll give it San Fran though.
Let's go with San Fran. Anyway, this is probably a definite lock of the week. Cincinnati at Oakland. I don't see any way Cincinnati can win a single game this year if they're going to play like they did last week.
Can you say it about Oakland yet?
Dude, Oakland might be pretty good.
They're a playoff team.
They might be a playoff team.
Oh, yeah.
The only team that I think that are standing in their way is Oakland and maybe Tennessee. Maybe if Tennessee...
You mean the Steelers in Tennessee?
No, I'm saying, yes, sure. The Steelers and Tennessee. If Tennessee starts winning, because they just beat the Chiefs, I think they might be able to make the playoffs.
Are we talking wild card or like... Oh, okay, yeah.
6 seed. Because the Bills probably have the 5 seed.
Unless they lose.
I mean...
It's possible.
It's possible.
It could be trending down.
But it'll either be the Steelers, Oakland, or Tennessee in the 6 seed.
Reasonable.
And I think Oakland's got that 6 seed because I don't believe in the Steelers because they got to play their next 5 of 7 games on the road. Although their schedule is pretty easy, but they're not at home. They don't got the refs back on them. And I think Oakland's playing pretty freaking good so far, man.
I don't know. I mean, we'll see about the ref thing. But Oakland is playing lights out. Then the only games they've lost was to
good teams.
Houston, Vikings, Packers, and the Chiefs.
Yeah.
Those are great teams right there.
So
I mean, the worst among them is the Chiefs somehow,
so
but
basically
the
the
Chiefs have been a little bit snake bitten. You know, I think they're just unlucky. They've lost a couple games because of injury and bad time management.
Do you think Oakland could beat a good team though?
Yes, I do.
Because we just basically went over this. They're basically Minnesota or Dallas.
They went toe to toe with Houston, and that was their last really good team they played. And I think that kind of showed that they were kind of rounding that corner. They were warming up to it, and then they finally almost did it. Deshaun Watson had an improbable, amazing play to win the game, but I think that was Oakland finally getting up to that speed. And, we haven't talked about Cincy at all. Do we need to? 0-10. I'm sorry. You're the worst team in the league. We predicted that. That's something else we predicted. Good job, us.
Do they even have any fight left in them?
No, they
just kind of show up and play, and just we'll lose by 4 or 5 touchdowns.
If you don't put 16 points on Oakland, you're kind of an idiot. So, just Oakland.
All the way, man.
Sorry.
New England at Philadelphia.
So, about all them upsets.
I don't think New England's going to get upset.
Come on.
They're coming off a bye.
Come on. They lost the Eagles in the Super Bowl, too.
They did, but that was a different team, dude. That was 2 years ago.
Let me say why I think Philly will win based on, not just homerism.
Unless they're crazy motivated to beat the Pats.
I
hope they are.
Here's the thing. New England and the Bills right now are very similar, and it's just that their defense is winning them their games. Tom Brady is not the offense anymore. They're lucky if they score 20 points. New England is a well-managed team. They need their defense to make the plays. If they can't, they might lose. The reason I picked Philly over the Bills is the rule on the Bills: score more than 21, you're probably going to win. Bills have scored more than 21 points twice this year, and heck, so yeah, let's make that the line too. Can the Eagles score more than 21 points on the Pats? At home, I think they absolutely can. They've been a little bit snake-bitten, but their offense is still fine. They're still good. They've shown playmaking ability. They've come back from deficits at least 3 different times this year.
Their defense is snake-bitten, though. Their secondary, especially.
I think this is going to be a real big, eye-opening win, and New England rides a losing streak for the first time in a while.
That would make me happy, but I think New England wins.
I know, but it's just the upset's there,
I hope so.
And I think New England preyed on a lot of easy teams, and their defense looked amazing, phenomenal.
Sure.
And it finally fell apart against not even a great offense, just a competent offense, one that knew what it was, knew how to do it. Eagles are fine in that regard.
No, I think their defense is still good. They just weren't ready for the Ravens.
I doubt they're ready for the Eagles.
They're coming off a bye.
So are the Eagles. The Eagles are coming off a bye. And they don't have to travel anywhere for it.
You go whatever. You go with Philly, I'll go to New England.
Hey, at least we're disagreeing more than a couple times this week.
I still think their defense is pretty good, dude.
It's fine.
I don't think Philadelphia's offense is anything special. I don't think Carson Wentz is all that good this year, dude.
I know New England can win, but I'm going with the Eagles.
All right. Do you think they're just going to be super pissed off about that Super Bowl like that?
I think New England blew their load in a meaningless preseason game. They're like, oh, we beat the Eagles in a preseason game and we look like a Super Bowl team. Screw you guys. I think they blew their revenge on that, and now they're just like, oh yeah, okay, we're good. No, you need to ride that into a game like this. But they blew it on a preseason game.
Chicago at the Rams. This one's very interesting because I kind of don't think both these teams are doing too hot right now.
Both teams are trending down. Jared Goff's a liability, as is Mitch Trubisky.
Probably the Rams.
Because
their offense didn't really do too good against the Steelers, but the Steelers do have a pretty good defense.
They do.
Chicago's got a pretty good defense, but they don't have an offense worth a crap.
Yeah.
They put up 20 points against Detroit. I think it's the first time they scored more than 20 points in this entire season.
And again, the Rams, their defense isn't good, but it's good at making turnovers.
It held Pittsburgh to 10 points, basically. I'm not counting that touchdown.
Yeah, the Rams' defense scored 9 of their 12 points. It's a good defense. Good at the turnovers. I don't think it's good. I think it's good at doing what it needs to. The Bears arguably upset the Rams last year, 15-6, but that's when they both were good. Now they're both bad, honestly. I think the Rams are low-key trash, where the Bears are just as trash.
I don't think the Rams are making the playoffs this year, dude.
No.
I thought they could.
I told you they wouldn't.
It's just the NFC's too freaking good, even for a wild card. For a wild card, they're 3 games behind.
Yeah, they are. I mean, could they drop this one to the Bears? Probably, but I'll give Sean McVay some credit.
Yeah.
I think he's smart enough to win this game against a flailing Bears.
Don't even have kickers.
The Bears only beat the Lions because Stafford was out, and I'm okay with saying that. I think the Bears still have the bones to be a good team, but they need to move away from
This
Trubisky.
defense is just pissed off. Just carry his freaking team.
Yeah.
A defense can't carry a team for so long, man.
Yeah. So who's going to be more of a liability here, Trubisky or Goff? I'll say it's going to be Trubisky, and the Rams win. I think it'll be a boring game, 16-13, but
Probably want to go like 3-0.
yeah, I could see it.
All right, Kansas City at the Chargers.
Chargers lost a heartbreaker to a better divisional opponent, and the Chiefs lost a heartbreaker to a surprisingly feisty team, despite Mahomes throwing for over 400 yards. Can the Chargers go toe-to-toe with that?
No. Kansas City plays their division really good. They barely lose divisional games, and I think they're going to be motivated from that loss. They want to get back to the playoffs. Chargers are kind of
just there.
They've been
in the
pissing
way.
me off. They win games I don't expect them to win, and they lose games I completely expect them to win. So, screw it.
You're just giving up on the Chargers?
I'm giving up on the Chargers. Kansas City's got this, totally.
I understand that. I mean, KC's offense is phenomenal, and
Their defense blows.
Mahomes looked healthy. And he came in through 450 yards on what we have established is a good Tennessee defense. Chargers don't have really anything to go toe-to-toe with that. I mean...
Didn't they only score like 16 points?
Chargers?
Kansas City last week. It was like 13-16 or some crap like
What?
that.
No, it was 35-32.
What?
Yeah.
What the fuck? What
And-
am I thinking of?
I don't know, but no, just KC went toe-to-toe, and their defense folded at the end, and that gave the Titans the win. And
Kansas City never had a defense, man.
No, and they've never. And what's crazy is they've never needed one.
I think,
With Mahomes doing what he is, fuck. I mean, crap.
dude, I really want to see them just go balls to the wall defense in this year's draft and just give Patrick Mahomes a defense.
Mm-hmm.
Please just give him a defense.
Chiefs have lost a couple games I don't think they normally would. I think it was just bad timing of, like, say, the Mahomes injury and all that. But I think Mahomes looked great. They just got unlucky last week, and I don't see the Chargers putting up a fight. I think the Chiefs are better than the Raiders, if only, a bit. But the Chiefs are better than the Raiders. Chargers just lost the Raiders.
Probably draft like 3 wide receivers.
I'd say that'll do it.
All right, go with Kansas City.
Mm-hmm. All right. Any closing thoughts, words, comments, concerns?
Screw the Steelers.
Screw the Steelers. All right. I like it. And we'll see you next week. Bye.